Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Over Easy. My name is Manny, in case you're new here, or welcome back. Happy 2023. It is the start of a new year, and today's episode is obviously going to be all about that. I am doing really well, actually. I'm going to do a little check-in. Rosebud and Thorn, as we always do. My rose for the day. Oh, okay. My rose of the week is I went snowboarding on New Year's Eve. It was so much fun. And it wasn't just like so much fun, the weather was nice and the slopes were nice. It was really powdery and stuff. I was actually genuinely trying to make an improvement with my snowboarding technique because I've gone for 4 years now at this point. And for the last few years, I have just gone. I don't snowboard properly. I go like in a little smiley face, if you know what that means, if you ever boarded. But last time I went on Saturday, I genuinely tried to be a real snowboarder, go on my toe edge, go on my heel edge, and alternate between the two. And I actually did so well. Definitely fell a ton, but I was really good at actually switching between toe edge and heel edge. And I'm really proud of myself for that. Like after snowboarding that day, I was like, damn, like that was probably one of the best snowboarding days ever. And I did fall way more than usual, but actually doing it properly and learning how to snowboard nicely was way worth it. So yeah, that being said, my thorn is I am freaking sore out of my mind. Every part of my body is sore. Like my neck is sore because I think after I fall down, I just like pull my head up, which is probably not good, and my head is so heavy with my helmet and goggles and stuff, so my neck is sore, my arms, my triceps, my shoulder muscles are sore, my back and lats are sore, my abs were super sore, my legs, my quads are dying, hip flexors dying. When I try to move my legs, I genuinely can't, and my toes are sore. So every part of my body is sore, and it has not been nice walking around and stuff like that. Yeah, let me go over my New Year's Eve and stuff with you, though, because I actually had a really good New Year's. So as I said, on New Year's Eve, we went snowboarding. My boyfriend and I went with another friend and her boyfriend, and they joined us for the morning, but they're more like, they were kind of out of it by lunchtime, which is totally fine. But my boyfriend and I decided to keep going after lunch, and we snowboarded for, I think, like 6 hours. It was crazy. I definitely think we went on like more than 10 runs, and we only went on greens, and I thought that I would be bored, but honestly, because I was trying to practice my snowboarding technique, I had so much fun just on the greens. Greens are actually like underrated, I feel. Anyways, so we went snowboarding, then we were finished by like 5, and we got off the mountain by like 5:30. You have to take off all your snow clothes, you have to return the rentals and all that. My boyfriend had rentals. I have all my own stuff now, but yeah. One thing I also really like is that all my boarding equipment is just like perfect for me. Like the shoes, the board, my snow jacket, my helmet and goggles I just recently got this season. I'm just happy with all my gear, which is great because it makes the experience so much better. But anyways, we were off the mountain by like 5:30, and we got back and we went to our favorite hot pot place for dinner. It is basically this place where you get your own individual pot and you can choose what kind of protein you want, what kind of vegetables and stuff like that. I always go for miso soup base because my favorite's miso soup. I get some beef, and then there's like a little combo where you get some veggies and seafood and stuff like that. Delicious. One of my favorite, like genuinely one of my favorite restaurants ever. I think probably my favorite. So it was great to end New Year's there because one of my favorite places. It was delicious, and the line wasn't even that long, which is crazy. Like for me and my boyfriend, whenever we go to that restaurant, we try to go at like 5 p.m., like something really, really early, because once it hits like 6 p.m., like regular dinner time, the lines are like 45 minutes long. But for us, we only had to wait like 15 to 20 minutes, which was so good. So I was really thankful about that. So we ate that hot pot, and then we came home and we watched the season finale of Chainsaw Man. I think I talked about this in another episode where I was watching anime. That I'm watching anime with my boyfriend. It was the season finale and it was crazy. Oh yeah, I did talk about this because I was worried that the season finale wasn't going to be that good. I I did really like the season finale. I thought it was very, very good. And I'm excited because I might read the manga of Chainsaw Man so that I can continue watching, because the next season's not going to be out until next year. So, or this year, I guess, because it's 2023 now. But I may watch it. But I was very satisfied with the ending. It was intense, and there was a lot of like, they tied up a lot of loose ends, which was nice, but there was also some cliffhangers for the next season, so I was really satisfied about that. Anyways, that was New Year's, and then my boyfriend and I just stayed up until 12. It was like, honestly, as you get older, I feel like it's a lot more anticlimactic, the counting down, but it's still fun. I think it's like a fun experience. We counted down and then basically just went to sleep right after that. And then yesterday was New Year's Day. We started off going to a fitness class. My gym had a special fitness class for January 1st. It was like a get your butt in order class, and you were allowed to bring a guest. So I brought my boyfriend, and then it was like, in the moment, like really hard because my body was super, super sore from snowboarding. Like I genuinely like felt like I couldn't move, and doing a fitness class where it was like Tabata and high interval intensity training was really hard. But it wasn't too bad in hindsight. Like looking back on it now, I'm like, okay, I think I kind of exaggerated a little bit how much I was dying. But anyways, yeah, it was super fun. And they did a little giveaway in the class because it was like a special class for January 1st. I won a box of Bailey's chocolate, so I'm going to be eating that throughout the week. Very delicious. Afterwards, we went to T&T and grabbed some food for lunch. We went grocery shopping, and then we took a nap. And then I came home and got my life together. It's crazy. It was a really good New Year's Eve and New Year's Day experience. Very happy and excited for this year for sure. So that's my rose and my thorn. And then my bud is, okay, my bud is crazy. So I've talked about, and I will continue talking about it this episode because we're talking about 2023 this episode, but I've talked about how I'm going to go through a lot of changes in 2023, one of them being career-wise, and it's like literally starting today, which is crazy. One of the things that I'm really excited about is I am interviewing someone for a job. That doesn't even make sense in my head. Like, what qualifications do I have? I know I am qualified and I'm really good at my job. So it does make sense that I'm interviewing someone, but it's like, in my mind, I'm still like, what the heck? I'm not qualified at all. So today I'm interviewing someone for a job, and that blows my mind because I don't even know. I've never gone through anything like that. It's crazy that like I'm transcending into the leadership that interviews other people. I don't even know. I've prepared all my notes. I feel like I'm going to be more nervous than the person that I'm interviewing because I'm just like such a stressed out person all the time. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So yeah, that's happening. I'm interviewing someone for a job today, which is crazy. And I've just been thinking about it for the last couple days, but I'm just so excited to be interviewing someone. Yeah. And what else am I excited for? I'm just excited. I don't know. This year, my mentality with this year is not that I'm trying to reinvent myself again. I feel like this year is finally the first year where I'm like, a new year doesn't really mean anything. It's great. And I know a lot of people take the new year to get a fresh start and all that. But to me, like, genuinely, a new year is just a new year. And it'll be a great year. Every year has been a great year. And I just, even if things go wrong and things aren't supposedly great, I'm still going to learn a lot and just enjoy. So that's my mentality with this year. And kind of getting into today's episode, we're going to talk about 2023. And the reason why I start off by saying that is because I genuinely don't have a plan or intentions or anything for this year. And that is really crazy for me because I was a person who always had New Year's resolutions growing up. And then when I started to not have resolutions, I would make vision boards and do intentions. And it's not that I don't believe in that. It's just that to me, this year, I finally am like, a new year doesn't really mean anything with changing who you are. If I wanted to change something, I would have already done it. Does that make sense? Like if I was like, for example, if I was someone who didn't go to the gym, didn't exercise, and I wanted to start exercising and becoming healthier, a new year would not be the reason why. Like, if I really wanted to do something like change my lifestyle and be healthier and start going to the gym, I would have started doing it no matter what day. I wouldn't have waited for January 1st. So nowadays I feel like the new year is really not anything. I still think it's super fun, of course. Like, I'm not like a Debbie Downer about it. I think it's a great opportunity for a lot of people to kind of shift their trajectories and perceptions of their life and what their intentions are. But nowadays I'm like, the new year is a new year, and it's going to be a great year, and it's the time. So that's kind of how I feel. But we're going to talk about, I'm going to go through some questions that I found online about 2023 and talk about my intentions, my perspectives, and what I am kind of thinking about going into this year. So let's do that. Okay, question 1. What is your intention for next year? Can I be honest and say, first of all, actually I should have said this even before we start the questions. I feel like this episode will be a little inauthentic because I'm going to say a lot of things that I'm trying to plan and look forward to this year, but I genuinely have no idea what this year is going to look like. This year, I genuinely have no structure in my life at all. Like, I feel like last year, I still had some structure because I was a student and I was looking forward to graduation in April. Like, I had events lined up throughout the year. But this year, now that I'm out in the real world, don't have school anymore, I don't have anything to look forward to. And I feel like that is something that a lot of adults can maybe struggle with when they first get into the adult world. But that's what I'm going to start off with is I actually have no idea what's going on this year. Okay, maybe I can predict. I'm in my lease for this apartment until the end of August, but that's all I can say. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have some crazy plans brewing in my mind, maybe. Crazy thoughts, maybe not plans, but they're thoughts. So what is my intention for next year? My intention is genuinely just to live daily for myself and for what's best for my long-term growth. And so what I mean by that is I want to live for myself, making decisions that will benefit me, but not just in the short term, like not what's just best for me that day, but also I want to make decisions, get involved with things that will help my long-term growth, whether that means I'm learning new skills or trying out new things or exploring and meeting new people. I don't know. I just want to live with the intention of becoming a better person and I guess like building for my future, but I don't even know what my future looks like. My other intention is definitely to focus on career a lot more because I have a lot of choices that I can make, which I'm very lucky to have. And so I really want to kind of focus in on opportunities that will help me the most for my young 20s and my mid 20s, because I feel like for the next few years, maybe I might be doing the same thing, like the same job. And I really want to have this be an important stepping stone to my future. I was just talking yesterday with my boyfriend, or maybe the day before, I can't remember, about like potential plans that we could have, potential routes that my life could take right now that I could like decide on. And those are things that I need to think about and just assess about whether they're really viable, what I should do, stuff like that. And it's really exciting to think about because it gives me a lot of motivation. But I do still need to think about them a little bit. So my intention for next year is just to continue living with myself in mind. I think that has been a really big change for me, is finally living for myself without guilt and like feeling like I have to prioritize other people over myself now. I'm finally in a place in my life, like I live by myself. I fend for myself, I'm financially independent. Like I can really like be myself. I can really prioritize myself in life now. Last year I was still struggling with it a little bit, but I really feel like this year I can take it by the reins and just be like, this is my life. I need to make the choices that benefit me. So yeah, what are you going to continue doing? So I'm going to continue. I really, really love making content. As I've said, I want to up that in 2023. I feel like after I moved out and I was figuring out my life as a not student anymore, it took a little bit of adjustment for me personally. But now that I'm in the groove of that, I want to up my content for sure and just have more fun with it. That means podcast episodes. I've been posting more TikToks, YouTube videos. I don't know. Instagram, I feel like it's just still kind of personal for me, but maybe Instagram. I don't know what I feel. Maybe I might feel crazy. I also want to continue my routines. I feel like I've really developed a good system living alone now. My morning routines of like going to the gym and all that, and also just like work routines, dinner routines. I feel like I've actually done really, really well living on my own. I feel like I have not, eaten instant noodles every single night, and I actually have balanced meals, and I'm feeding myself healthy things for my meals, which I'm really, really proud of. I genuinely had really low expectations going into moving out. I was like, oh, I'm going to have craft dinner every night. Like, I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to eat vegetables. But like, I genuinely have not had trouble with that at all. And I found that when I go grocery shopping, like, you have the conscious choices. Buy more produce. Like, I feel like nowadays I buy so much produce and then that's just what I eat. I don't know. I feel like because before when I was at home, living at home, it wasn't really my own space. And I did go grocery shopping for myself a little bit, but I still didn't really have like full autonomy over what I was eating. But now that I'm living alone, I genuinely can, plan out all my meals, which I do, and just plan for, am I eating all the food groups? Am I being healthy and all that? So yeah, I want to continue doing that for sure. Just all my routines of living alone, I feel like are really, really nice. And yeah, and then continue doing, I think those are my main two focuses right now. I feel like 2023 will definitely be the year of content for me. I really want it to be. So let's put that out there. What am I going to change completely? That's a crazy question. Things I want to change completely. Okay. It's not that how do I say this? I think one thing that's going to change completely for me this year is going to be my work life. Again, because I said I'm growing in my position at work, and I've been thinking about, where do I want to focus my efforts with work? I'm going to put this out there, okay? I'm scared. I don't usually talk about my goals before they happen, to the internet at least. I like to talk about it with my friends and stuff. I don't mind that. I'm not the type of person that like doesn't talk about anything until it happens with anyone. But with the internet, I'm a little apprehensive. But okay, let's do it. I want this year to be the year that I start making a consistent income with my content. And it doesn't have to be a big income. I say consistent and not large. Consistent could mean $50 every month, $100 every month. I want this year to be the year that I make a consistent income from my content. That is a big claim, but that is something I want to change completely in my life. I definitely want to be building my content. I feel like I have been doing it in and out for the last few years, ever since I made my YouTube channel, but this year I really want it to be the year that I take it seriously. And I don't want to go into it like trying to earn a lot of money, but I want to go into it with like, I want to know that I put in all my effort and I didn't just half-ass it, because I don't want to go out of my life when I die one day thinking that, oh, I should have put in more effort into my content. What if this happened? I don't want to live with what ifs. So that's something I want to change completely, and I've put it out there now. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, next. How do you intend to be different at the end of this year, next year, the new year, whatever? How do I intend to be different? How do I intend to be different? I think I definitely want to be more intentional with my relationships, whether that's with my boyfriend, with my friendships, with my family. I want to, because I feel like right now I'm still always teetering between taking time for myself and prioritizing others and where they need me. So that's kind of something that I've been struggling with. I want to, by the end of 2023, just have more genuine, authentic relationships and not always have to second guess myself. I feel like I am sometimes intertwined in these toxic relationships where I don't know if they need me, if they don't need me, what I'm supposed to do. I want to build relationships where we communicate and just talk about expectations and stuff like that. It's really hard, especially with like immigrant Asian families. I feel like many of you will probably relate. That's not something people talk about in this culture. About you're just expected to, give everything up at the last moment just to help. And then sometimes you go without talking, and then sometimes you're fighting, and then it just kind of is over. Like, the communication is really broken, I feel like, in this culture, which I really don't like. And that is something I definitely want to work on with my family. So that's one. Okay, what will you do to step out of your comfort zone? Definitely posting more content and just like not caring about what other people think. I think I'm really good at that already, especially being out of school. So if you're struggling with that and you're in school, just know that when you get out of school, nothing matters. So that is something I definitely want to do, is just post what I want and not care about what people think, not care about views and blah, 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 blah. Likes, views, whatever. That is something I don't really want to care about. I just want to genuinely post things that I like and have fun with. So that is something I want to do. It's a little bit outside of my comfort zone. And I might have to maybe make some sacrifices. Like, I feel like right now, if something comes up and I have to choose between something in my podcast will always be second. So I want to kind of challenge myself to not be such a bum and prioritize things a little better. There are just some weekends where I'll be like, oh, I'm exhausted. I can't record my podcast today. And then I'll go and like watch YouTube for 5 hours. And while I do believe, of course, in like taking care of yourself, listening to your body and all that, I can spend 45 minutes recording a podcast and not watching YouTube. Like, come on. So that is definitely something I want to keep in mind, is that like, there's this one quote that I saw on TikTok. It was like, use your weekends to build the life that you want. What was it? Use your weekdays to sustain the life that you have, and use the weekends to build the life that you want. That is something I want to prioritize. Is eventually I want my dream life to be that I make enough money from content that I can just not work as much, which is hard to say and crazy to put out there, but I want that to be the truth. So I need to like really take it seriously and put it in action if I want this to be a reality for myself. So that is one. Okay. How will you learn from your future mistakes? Oh, future mistakes, not past mistakes. How will you learn from your future mistakes? I think I already do this, but definitely reflecting about things that happen and what I've learned from it. That like I can do this through journaling. Of course, I journal every single morning and I talk about the previous day. So definitely doing that. I definitely want to put more time into journaling and maybe even start like a work journal. I don't know if that's kind of crazy, but I want more time to do reflections about what I'm learning and stuff, especially because I'm going into such a transitory period in my career. I want to spend a bit more time reflecting on what I learned, what worked, what didn't work, as I'm kind of getting my footing in this new position. And so maybe I'll start a work journal. Maybe I'll just journal more. I don't really know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, how am I going to implement this? But I definitely want to, for sure. And also with content too, like reflecting on what works, what doesn't work, what I've learned, stuff like that. Journaling. I love journaling. It's my favorite. So journaling for sure. What do you want to accomplish? Whoa. What do I want to accomplish? There's nothing of like degree worthy or certificate worthy for me to work towards this year. So it is really hard for me to think about accomplishments because there's no like criteria that I'm working towards per se. You know, last year I was working towards my bachelor's degree, so I had a clear checklist of what I needed to do. But this year, because I'm like just working, it's not that we don't have employee of the month, employee of the year, whatever. That's not something I can work towards. So I want to accomplish, what do I want to accomplish? That's like such a weird question. And I don't really want to make it like monetary or numerical, because I just want to celebrate the growth. I don't really want to hit a milestone. Definitely just like growing more on my platforms, my content, my podcast, my Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, blah, 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 all these things. I definitely want to grow more and just build a community of people who are maybe going through the same things that I am, or are just relatable to what I'm going through and can help me and I can help. That's definitely something I want to accomplish. Yeah, building a tight-knit community and growing my platform so that more people can see my content, maybe, if they want. Okay, what will be your purpose next year? I think this year is definitely going to be very career focused. I will definitely put my thoughts and brain power towards that. I think I've definitely grown a lot as an individual, and I have worked a lot on just my personal mental health and stuff like that, I'm still going to work on it, but I don't need to focus all my efforts on it anymore. So career is definitely kind of like the next thing for me. And naturally, right, I'm in my young 20s. I just graduated university. That's kind of like the regular thing that people focus on after they graduate university is their career. So career-wise, building a career for myself, working in the careers that I have. I guess I shouldn't say career, like jobs. I don't really see a difference. I know some people differentiate between job and career, so yeah, I definitely want to. My purpose is to kind of find my footing in the job field and figure out what I want to do. Because also, what I've been telling myself is these are just jobs for right now, and these aren't going to be my forever jobs. So I need to figure out, like, what do I want to be my forever job? It's always been counseling. I always had that thought, but do I actually want to do that? I would love to also find a mentor somehow. I don't even know. So we'll figure that out. That's just all stuff I'm going to figure out this year, and we're going to work towards for sure. Okay. Which existing relationships do you want to focus on? The biggest one is definitely with my family. I'm still going through this transition period of me moving out, but still being here and stuff like that. It's like a big difference for a lot of us, or for my family. So definitely want to work on that. And more specifically, because I want to be specific about what I can work on. Specifically, I want to work on communicating with my family. I feel like that is very hard with immigrant families. As I've said, like that's kind of just the norm is we don't say I love you. We don't say these like cheesy things that you might say that other people might say to their families. And then also just like expectations of a family member we never really communicate about. I feel like because the generations are also changing, there's a lot of different expectations and thoughts. Before, it was really normal to do everything you can for your family and just kind of sacrifice yourself and what you want to do. But nowadays, our generations are changing, right? Like, as Gen Z, we are more focusing on what makes us happy and stuff like that. I feel like I'm really glad that I grew up with Gen Z, because I feel that way for sure, is prioritizing what you want to do and what makes you happiest. I feel like if I was born in an older generation, I would definitely struggle a lot with like satisfying my family's needs and then giving up what I want to do, because I'm already really lucky that my parents didn't force me to like be a doctor or be a lawyer, as like a lot of parents do. So I need to kind of make the most of that and figure out what I want to do and how I can help my family. That's something I definitely want to work on. All right, on to the last few questions. Okay, not few, last half. What career opportunities do you want to I can't read anymore. What career opportunities do you want to create for yourself? So I've been talking about this my entire episode because obviously my life is going to be a little more career focused for the next year. Definitely want to make a career out of my content. Like that is my biggest dream. Is I don't think I want to do it full time for sure. I think that's going to be too hard on my mental health, but definitely just like being able to relax a little bit in terms of 9-to-5 work, because I have another income coming in. So definitely would love to do that. That'd be so awesome. So I definitely want to work on that and actually make it a reality for myself. The great thing about content is like you are literally in charge of this job. It's not like my regular 9 to 5s. I feel like I'm so thankful for working 9 to 5s now because I have like such a good perspective on working. And that's why I knew that maybe the jobs that I have are not the best, but I knew that it would be really important for my growth to understand like what a bad job looks like so that I can be grateful for when I have a good job. And I'm not saying that my jobs right now are terrible, but they're definitely not something that I can do forever. Like it's not sustainable. So I definitely want to work more on my content and just try to make that a viable career for myself because that would be awesome. And I think I've actually just been like doing that, which is really good. This month I've definitely been trying to focus, not even this month, this week I've been trying to focus a lot on making TikToks, and that's been really fun and just good for me. I don't even know. Okay, how will they typed this wrong. How will you make next year matter? Figuring out my life in terms of career wise, I feel like I don't want to be that type of person that's like, your job is your everything. But it is a really big part of life for a lot of us because that's just the way this society works. So if it is going to be something that I spend so many hours towards, I want it to be something that I genuinely enjoy and really, really like. So definitely trying to figure out my footing in the career aspect of my life, stuff like that. Also, I just want this year to be a good year for myself mentally. I think it's been okay. So we will make this a slay year. How will you help others? I'm reading a book right now that's called Living Life in Crescendo by Stephen Covey and his daughter Cynthia Covey. And it's more meant for people who are like retiring, but I actually really enjoy reading it because it gives me a good perspective of right now I'm building my life so that when I retire or whatever, I won't fall into like feeling like I've worked 40 years and done nothing with my life. I want to start off now and set off my trajectory well now so that I can continue this and feel like I'll be really happy for the next few years working. So how will I help others? One part of the book is that a lot of us find fulfillment in helping other people in our lives. And one part that I feel this for sure is definitely like teaching kids math. Like I genuinely feel so fulfilled by that job. I love helping kids. I love seeing kids finally understand, and it's been great. I really like this job, as I definitely think like working with kids is a big part of what makes me really happy, and helping them through whatever it might be. It might not even just be math. Like I love just talking to them about their life, and just helping them through that too is really satisfying for me. What personal qualities do you want to strengthen? Whoa. I definitely want to work better at becoming a more thoughtful person. Sometimes, especially when I'm stressed, but also just sometimes I'm very headstrong and I don't really think about what I'm doing, and that might hurt other people or just not be the best for other people. So I definitely want to work on taking time and not rushing and just working on being more thoughtful for the people that I care about. What skills do you want to learn? I talked about this in my YouTube video, but I want to have more hobbies for just enjoyment. So for example, last year I did some pottery and I thought that was super fun. So I would love to keep doing that. What other skills? Like I think just doing new things. I don't want to like work on work related skills. Like for these, I generally just want to try new activities. I tried playing tennis once with my boyfriend. That day did not go super well, but in retrospect, I do really want to learn how to play tennis for real. I want to do pottery. I don't know. I want to get a bike finally this year. I feel like I really want to get a bike. How will you take care of yourself? Setting routines, setting up boundaries for myself is definitely super important. I think that's like kind of the basis of being able to survive a 9 to 5 is if you have good routines, because otherwise I feel like it's so easy to have the free time that you have slip away from you. So for me, that's going to the gym in the morning, eating a healthy, nutritious breakfast. At night, it's not going on my phone for too much, although I do watch a lot of TikTok. You know, it's reading, it's journaling, it's doing all this to make sure mentally I'm okay and I feel okay. What places do you want to visit? Is this the year I finally go to Japan? I really want it to be. I feel like one of the one of the realities that I can feel this year happening is after my lease ends in August, I go to Japan, because that was my plan originally for last year. Didn't end up happening because I needed to work, but this year it might be real. It might happen. What will you say no to? I will definitely say no to people who are not the best for me. Does that make sense? But even now, I think about it now, and like the people that I have in my life are people that I genuinely love and care about and feel like they will genuinely care about and love me as well. Like, I definitely struggled with having meaningful friendships in my early university days, but now that I'm out of university and I can make conscious decisions of who I want to spend my time with, I feel like that's not even a struggle that I have anymore. What will I say no to? I will say no to when I feel like a lazy bum and I just want to lay in bed all day, and when I could be doing something better with my time instead, for sure. I will also say no to I will also say no to people who don't respect my boundaries. So I want to really respect my boundaries this year, and also cultivate people in my life who will also respect my boundaries. Yeah. How will you improve your environment? I want to furnish my apartment this year. I've lived 2022 in my apartment with a carpet or a blanket on the floor and paper boxes as my table. So I definitely want to furnish my apartment. I already started that last week. I went to IKEA, looked at some rugs. I looked at coffee tables. They're just out of stock right now, which is really unfortunate, but I really, really want to do that. Maybe like in the first few months, like genuinely. Otherwise, I'm going to be moving out soon again. And then what the heck am I going to do? Who will you ask for help and support from? My boyfriend, my friends, my family. That's kind of a simple answer. And last question, who do you want to become next year? I kind of don't like this as the last question, because my answer is I don't want to become anyone else. I want to just be me. I want to be the best version of me. I want to grow into a better version of me, but I don't want to change who I am. I think I'm very happy with who I am nowadays. I feel like I'm so lucky because I haven't really struggled with a lot of... Okay, this is just my view. I feel like as a person, the first thing that you struggle with in terms of yourself is like body image issues. And that is like what you look like, feeling confident in your features, not comparing yourself to people on social media. And then you kind of go into being confident with your personality, like who you are mentally in terms of relationships with other people and relationships with yourself. And then lastly is kind of being able to focus on your purpose in life and what that is, and being confident in that. And I feel like I'm so lucky because my time with the first two struggles were relatively short. Like I have days off and on for sure, but generally I don't feel body dysmorphia or body image issues anymore. I'm very, very happy with how I look and my physical body. Also, the perspective that your body is just a vessel for your soul really changes your mind with if you're struggling with body image issues. If you have issues like that, it definitely takes time to work through and accept yourself for who you are, but also understanding that you don't have to love your body all the time. Understanding that your body is just a vessel for your energy, your soul, your personality also really helps with if you're having an off day. But all in all, I feel really grateful that I kind of got over that really quickly. I definitely felt very insecure in my body for the first bit of my adulthood, 18, 19. But these last few years, I've been really happy with myself. And then the second part is being confident in your personality and who you are as a person. I think I am still working through this a little bit, but not a lot. I really love who I am, and I feel like that really comes out when I'm working with kids. Being able to be authentic with them and help them and just be a support for them. I feel like, I don't know. Last thing I'm working through is just my purpose in life, my confidence with that. And that is something I think will take a very long time because we don't really know what our purpose in life is. Right now, my purpose in life is to just figure out more about myself, helping others around me where I can. But that's definitely going to be something else I'm working on. So yeah, that is my 2023 intentions episode. I hope you have an amazing year. And just know that if things don't go to plan, that doesn't mean you failed this year. That is why I haven't set concrete goals for myself, like, oh, I must make this much money or stuff like that, because those kinds of goals take away from the growth that you really did do. And I think that's really, really important to highlight. So if you are planning out your year a little bit late, like me, it's already 2023, but I hope you just take into the fact that progress is also not linear. So even if it seems like you're going backwards, that doesn't mean you're actually going backwards. It means that you are figuring out how to better accomplish your goals. I think I heard this in an interview with Ashley Alexander, a YouTuber, where she doesn't really see failures as failures. She sees failures as experiences of, how do I explain this? Like, she sees failures as just experiences of ways she's tried to achieve her goal. So I'm going to try and make an example for this because that was kind of confusing. Say my goal is to launch a clothing brand. It's not actually, I don't really want to, but say that's my goal. And I tried meeting with manufacturers and we got the designs and all that already. And then I finally received the samples at my house and they are terrible and I hate them. That's not a failure. Some people might see it as a failure, as like, oh, I have to start back from the beginning again, blah, 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 blah. But it's not, because through that experience of what you think is a failure, you really did still learn a lot. You learned about the manufacturing, like supply chain, learned about how to best communicate with these manufacturers to get what you want. Now you know more important questions to ask to make sure that, this doesn't happen again and you can actually get the samples that you want. So even if something turns out to be a failure, you're still learning from it and you are still gaining experience and knowledge from it, which I don't think is a failure at all. Nothing is a failure in that case. So that's kind of the mentality that I'm going into 2023 with. Also just living my best life, slaying every day, because who doesn't want to do that? I hope you have an amazing year. I will definitely catch you more on the podcast. I'm definitely going to try to prioritize this more. And I'll see you soon for my next new episode. Okay, bye.
And I was like, yo.